time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite.
Hello.
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman for Up Next. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, live.
Twitch.tv/UpNextPodcast. Every lunchtime, Thursday, 1 p.m. We talk about AEW. For now.
Yeah.
For now.
It's card subject to change.
Card subject to change.
Time subject to change.
Yeah.
Yes. Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Come have brunch with the BDE. That's what we've been doing as we talk about AEW Dynamite. Yes, we're your NXT friends. We'll always be your NXT friends, but seems like Wednesday nights are for the boys. Wednesday nights are for...
What about the girls?
The Dynamite. There's Tuesday nights, there's Wednesday nights, there's Thursdays.
So only... We're limiting our audience to only the guys?
Yeah.
Alright, fuck off, women. This is just for lads.
No, that was...
If you're a female listener, fuck off. Do something else.
That was Wei Ting in our Rumble.
Yeah.
Who just decided to go off on women. No, so probably in the future, our Dynamite live shows will probably be Wednesday nights. But for now, come hang out on Thursdays as we record this. Come hang out and listen to us talk about all the different wrestling. We have so many podcasts going on right now. Of course, Up Next came out last night. We recorded it talking all about last night's NXT and Roderick Strong's lovely shirt. You can hear all our thoughts on that wherever you find this podcast right now. But we like to talk about other wrestlings and other graps as well. We've briefly mentioned that we have a best death match ever coming out. It's already out for the patrons, early release. But if you can't wait for that show, sign up for the Patreon. But maybe I'll put it out for free a little later tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be available. We're going live with Stephanie Chase tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Steph's YouTube channel. So check out that, Stephanie Chase Wrestling on YouTube. And we're going to be doing a live watch-along of Onita versus Terry Funk. And come join us, because we're going to be talking about that match with Damien on Best Death Match Ever. So it's a great lead-in, and then it should drop in your feeds later tonight.
Yeah, especially because we recorded it with Damien yesterday, and then we talk all about Onita, the legendary wrestler, and how Damien has like his bat signed by him.
Oh yeah,
and has had like dinner with this guy, interviewed this guy, and we were briefly saying, hey, like I wonder if he'll show up. He should be the special ref. Well, he showed up here tonight on Dynamite. Technically, he sent in a video.
He was, he was on Dynamite.
This Dynamite was loaded. If you are a wrestling fan, and you have been for a long time, this is easily one of the strangest wrestling cards on paper. You had an appearance from Onita. Mm-hmm. You had Shaquille O'Neal wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Rhodes in a mixed tag match. And Tully Blanchard hit his slingshot.
Lacing up the boots again, yeah.
What was going on Dynamite this week? Just crazy. I feel like there's lots of news going on. I know Revolution is this Sunday, and the exploding barbed wire death match is all the rave. I think I'm super excited for that more than I should be. Like, I feel like I'm secretly hyped for that match when I know it could be a complete letdown.
Yes.
But like
I don't think it will. I don't think it can be. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I think for what it's going to be, I think it's going to be very good.
Well, I think I'm super stoked for it, and we're going to be doing a watch along. Come hang out with that with us for that. And it seems like Moxley's been busy. He did his match with Kenta.
Yeah.
He retained the title, which, I mean, you're going into a world title pay-per-view match. You shouldn't be losing.
You watched the match?
Yeah. It was okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was okay.
There's only like, when you're going, we're used to kind of having some sort of noise and crowds in wrestling now. When you're going back to the very empty setting, I think it's difficult. But I quite enjoyed the match. It was nothing epic. It was only, 15 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought they had a decent match.
I don't think Kenta's got it. He hasn't had it for a while.
Okay.
That's been my thing.
I disagree. I think he's been good at his
Yeah.
level. I think he's at that
His
kind
level. His level.
Hey, not everyone can be the guy, right?
Yeah.
And I think for his level, for that kind of US title picture, I think he's great. I think he's been having good matches. I think the character shift definitely helped him. I think he felt...
heel turn?
Yeah, I think he felt a bit lost in that G1 when he first came over, but I've been enjoying his stuff.
It's weird. He came over to New Japan, and then he turned heel, and then I remember he came out and at Wrestle Kingdom? He came out, like, what's it, a year ago?
At the end of Naito's win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a year ago.
That was his turn, yeah.
Yeah, his turn hasn't really helped him too much because
Well, what do you expect him to be the guy? Is that it?
No,
because
no.
not everyone can be the guy.
No,
and I don't see him at that level. But
no,
compared to WWE,
no, I expect him to have matches that I can like talking about. Can't say I would recommend go watch that match with Moxley.
Okay,
it was just a TV match. I enjoyed the 6-man on the card.
Right.
I enjoyed the other matches on the card more than that match.
Okay,
including the 2 guys I didn't even know.
Right.
So I was like, hey, this is great. I want to watch it for these guys.
Yeah.
And then I came for... I guess they did their job.
Yeah.
I came for Mox and Kenta, and then...
You're interested by
Yeah, I was more interested in the other stuff.
I like the main event the
Brody
best
King.
on that show.
Brody King is someone I think is going to be a huge star in wrestling. I love his look. I like his wrestling. I thought that match was really fun. But it's interesting that Moxley retains that North American title, the U.S. title. Because, I guess it keeps that door open for different
I think
things.
it makes sense. New Japan have 64 titles, so why not keep
63?
Why
soon,
not?
right?
Yeah, why not keep the US title on your guy who's in the US, who's PWI's Wrestler of the Year?
Yeah.
Why
Kenta?
Why give it up to someone else when you can do a match like this every couple of months and draw some interest?
I felt the same way when I watched the women's tag title match last night. For some reason, I was like, oh, I'm so stoked to see Raquel and Dakota win. As soon as the entrances were hitting, I was like, they're not winning this match. They're not winning. And it felt the same way with Kenta. When I saw him come out, I was like, he's not winning this title. Moxley's just too hot right now. I heard online, I love going on Twitter and reading wrestling Twitter dirt sheets, as we'll probably talk about more of. New Japan doing a second Tokyo Dome show this year.
Oh, okay.
That seems crazy.
Right.
I know they have to catch up on, lost things from the previous year, but that sounds like it's a little, I don't know, pushing it. The world is still not fully...
This is first I've heard about it.
Yeah.
What have they said?
I don't know. So I saw people saying that they're aiming for some sort of summertime Tokyo Dome show, as well as other pay-per-view.
I wonder if that's when they around the time they did the Jingu Stadium show last year, maybe.
Yeah, true, maybe. Unless it's that, but
unless you could do I'd be down for some sort of crossover with some of the other companies All Japan or Noah or DDT. I don't know. Maybe that's a way you could maybe fill a stadium and have a few more interesting matches, because the roster seems thin. I feel like we're just having the same matches over and over again.
In New Japan?
Yeah, I haven't gone back to see Castle Attack. I've heard there's some good matches on it, but I feel like I've seen Naito Ibushi a few times. I feel like I've seen Ishii Jay White recently. There's a bunch of stuff I've already seen that nothing really particularly excites me. So
I agree. I have not watched it back. I'm a huge New Japan fan, but how many times do I have to watch Kota versus Naito? You've had great matches, guys, but let's move on, maybe. And they still go back to it, and it's okay, I'm not too big on Desperado as some are. I know it's give him a chance because he's finally kind of breaking through, but I still haven't seen too much that makes me want to kind of. I'm interested in his Kota match. I will say that could be good.
I liked his. I think it was him and Ishii had a really good match in the New Japan Cup last year. I did really like his match against Hiromu. I just like that it's someone fresh. I'm complaining that we're seeing Naito and Ibushi all the time. I'm happy to have something fresh, and I believe that match has already happened. I think that happened this morning.
What, today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
caught up.
We'll try and check that out later if I've got time.
I'd imagine the winner of this New Japan Cup faces the champ. And sorry, they've mixed the belts now. IC and World are one.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So.
Winner of the cup will go to face Ibushi.
Okay. So,
do you have a pick?
I haven't really looked. pick? I mean,
it's pretty much the roster.
It's the same
the roster's
people.
on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Ishii.
I mean, I think New Japan Cup is the time where you can put it on maybe someone a few rungs down. You're not going into Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of to set up for a more of a B pay-per-view. So, yeah, maybe Ishii, maybe Takagi. Takagi's not got a title anymore.
Oh, right.
So I'd be down for that. But
oh, hell yeah.
they'll probably just go with Okada or Naito again. I don't know.
I'd like to see Shingo put on some...
I'd like Shingo
matches.
Ibushi. I think that would be good.
That'd be crazy.
Or Ishii Ibushi. Either of them I'm happy with.
Shingo definitely being a guy over there is something I am interested in. I think his matches always deliver recently as of late. So, yeah, big fan of that. We talked a lot about Ishii and some Shingo on that Neverweight best match ever. That was crazy. Some people say that title doesn't mean anything and they hate it. We did it justice. We proved everyone wrong in that match, in that show. Another thing, obviously, is like we're going into this AEW show, and already like Big Show shows up, and I refuse to say Paul White.
Hey, he's the Big Show.
He's the Big Show with his no BS.
Yeah.
Greatest shirt ever. You want it?
No.
You want it? I'll get it for you.
No, I'm good.
No
I'm
BS.
Good, thank you.
No BS. He, I'm gonna cut right to the chase here. Is that he says that someone who's a big signing, huge, is coming on Sunday to Revolution to show up. So instantly,
Are you sick?
Yeah,
you sound like shit. Sorry, I
have a weird nasally thing going on.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So Big Show says that someone's gonna show up, and it's giving me total like TNA vibes.
Yeah, I'm unsure of it. The word was a future Hall of Famer, and there was a tweet today kind of clarifying that it is a huge deal. So I'm trying to find the tweet. Stephanie Chase reported that Tony Khan on AEW Unrestricted said a major star in the world of wrestling, a huge star, is going to come and sign a multi-year contract with AEW on Sunday at the pay-per-view. So I can confirm what Paul White said is true, and it's not the person in the ladder match. So we're going to have a couple of surprises at Revolution. At first, I was thinking it might be the TNA thing. They're going to hype it up, and it's going to be a future NFL Hall of Famer.
Right.
But if this is a legit signing, of course, promote it ahead of time.
Yeah, it's as someone who I was younger and I watched TNA through those years. They did it all the time, and I am someone who's so behind this AEW. I am so behind this show. I would much rather. I'm happy NXT's moving. I would way rather watch this show live. This is the cool wrestling show in modern times right now. Like I mentioned, we had Tully in a match. We had a Shaq in a match. Tully fought a dinosaur. Guys, this show's the greatest wrestling show right now. But when they do shit like this, I go TNA. I go, this is exactly what they used to do time and every fucking month. They'd be like, hey, you have to buy our pay-per-view to see who shows up at the end and point.
Yeah.
That's like they always did it. It was clockwork. And I'm seeing the internet wrestling people being like, hey, it could be Christian. Christian was one of those TNA guys who jumped and did that.
I think anyone below Christian will feel TNA-esque, you know? I think Christian, he's the guy I see as being likely because the story is Edge hitting that spear on Elias at SummerSlam. That's when AEW called him and were like, hey, are you...
Can you wrestle?
Cleared? Can you wrestle?
Right.
And I feel that Christian may have shown up at the Rumble, shown that he still can go, and they might have contacted him and go, was that a one-off? What's your contract? And we've seen there's been zero follow-up. He hasn't even appeared on Raw or SmackDown after the Rumble. So that's who I'm leaning to.
Moxley just recently in an interview mentioned Christian.
Right.
How he wants to fight him.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's that. I don't know if that necessarily is, like, the move. I feel like Christian would easily show up in WWE just because of that Rumble appearance. If they let him slip through, that's kind of a waste for
That's what happened with Big Show. Big Show was just on TV.
Yeah, but it's Big Show. It's like,
who knows what goes through WWE's mind?
Yeah.
Like, Sting was like, hey, I want to do some cinematic matches. And they were like, no, we're not interested.
Yeah.
Christian possibly thought he was coming back for some sort of run.
Right.
And they're like, oh, no, we just wanted the the Rumble spot. It's weird, like not how I'd book
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
that's what I'm leaning to. But also, if you want to get ridiculous, you've got the likes of Brock Lesnar, who's been out of contract since August, I think.
Imagine this is how you bring in Brock or Punk or something. No way. There's no way. You would do that with a shock with a crowd. That's it. There's no way you'd get Big Show to hype up either of these two. I know they've had history, both.
Yeah.
I know people. Punk and Brock, like, yeah, Big Show's fought everybody because he's been around for so long. I just could not imagine that's the pull. I'm imagining we got someone who's they said Hall of Fame worthy. So like what? Like a Christian, he's Hall of Fame. Is he already in the Hall of Fame?
He's not in the Hall of Fame yet, no.
Hall of Fame worthy. He is. Rob Van Dam, he's Hall of Fame worthy.
I hope it's not.
But
Rob
I hope
Van
it's not
Dam.
him. I don't want to see him.
No. I think that's a letdown.
Yeah. I don't really know who this big signing is supposed to be, but I don't like the fact that you're setting yourself up to make us go, oh, it's just that guy.
Wait, it's got to be, like, they're saying huge. It's got to be huge now.
Yeah.
Anything below, they TNA it up. If
Right.
if they deliver on a Brock or a Punk, you'd be like, fair play at AEW. Next time you go, we've got a surprise at a pay-per-view. I'm going to trust you. But
Right.
if they go, oh, it's Rob Van Dam,
Bully Ray.
yeah, you're going to go, cool, all right.
Yeah. Well, the other surprises is this ladder match, and people are talking about what Ethan Page or who's the guy that people are talking about showing up. Not so much main event spot. This signing.
This for the ladder match.
Yeah.
I do see Ethan Page. I
Hero.
think whoever the surprise is gonna be the winner and face Darby.
Right.
I think Ethan Page kind of
so that
makes a
makes
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because you can then build up their feud quite quickly again. Not going to be able to show clips from Evolve, obviously, but yeah, you can absolutely hype up their past.
Yeah, I'm interested in the pay-per-view alone. I know that, like, the card itself has some matches that you kind of scratch your head at and be like, well, that seems like a Dynamite. It seems like a Dynamite with a crazy tag exploding match.
Yeah, we'll do predictions at the end,
Yeah.
but I got to say I'm not particularly excited for this pay-per-view, and I think having been spoilt by having a few good main roster / NXT pay-per-views that have clocked in under 2.5 hours recently, I am not particularly excited of seeing this, 9-match card?
What?
It's going to be long. It's starting at 8. It's going to be a late night, I feel. And not many of these matches are really jumping off the page for me. I'm sure they'll be good. I'm sure there's going to be really fine wrestling and some surprises and some good stuff. But compared to the TV, because I think we've had some pretty good, entertaining Dynamites over the weeks, I can't say it's built to a really exciting pay-per-view bar that main event.
I agree. I feel like their Dynamite shows, their TNT shows, maybe they're but maybe they're blowing their wad too quick with, like, showing you free matches on TV. You're showing me your Jurassic Expresses and FTR and quote-unquote grudge type match. Do it on pay-per-view.
I do love how every week you feel like there's a
Special
kind of
shows.
pay-per-view worthy
Yeah, for
match
sure.
on it every week. I'm really impressed by that. But yeah, I kind of agree. You could have maybe switched a few things around.
We're gonna be watching it. I'm super hyped for it. It's great. And of course, this episode here today, like, getting kind of all the talk in the wrestling world. Because also first off, before rest in peace to Jim Crockett Jr. And here we get to see Tully in a match, and who comes out with J.J. Dillon. So it's like all sorts of throwbacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're that kind of wrestling fan, you definitely tuned in to see, like, FTR and this Tully thing. But maybe if you're a different type of wrestling fan, you tuned in to see Shaq.
Oh, yes.
So let's talk about Shaq. Let's talk about AEW from March 3rd, 2020. We start off with the mixed tag match, the dream match, if you will. It is Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet versus Cargill? Cargill. I still think Jade Lady because of JR. Jade and Shaq, who comes out looking shacked. He is huge.
He's a big guy.
He is big. I know AEW is what they say, it's for the smaller wrestlers, smaller guys, junior heavyweight division. Yeah, because this guy comes through the tunnel, has to duck to get out of it. Looks like a giant out here flexing. The shot of Jade and Shaq on their entrances already made me go like, hey, they look like she looks legit.
Yeah.
This is what this is. This is to get everyone to watch and go, oh, Shaq's wrestling. But it's to get someone in this match over beyond belief, and I would believe it's Jade.
I think it. We'll get into the match, but I would say it put everyone over. I really enjoyed this.
This is true.
But yeah, Jade was the project. You're completely right.
So Shaq is just huge here, coming out with his big guns, and it's Cody and Shaq who are gonna tie up here. And every time Cody tries to do like the classic wrestling tie up, it's Shaq kind of just like swatting him away, shoving him away because he's just so much bigger. Shaq then does the classic Muhammad Ali leg dancing move, like I'm too
shuffle.
I'm too fast for you. Float like a butterfly. Then Shaq decides to try his hand at some chops. And some of them were really good, and some of them were just really weird. He goes like, ha!
I feel like a chop or a slap you follow through, right? You hit the skin and you keep your momentum going, whereas his was like pat.
Yeah.
He was like pulling away from it each time.
He didn't want to
and sure, he got big hands, but Cody's going to take it.
Yeah, there was one that looked actually really good, and the rest kind of just didn't look too impressive. But I was like, all right, go get it, Shaq. Shaq tags in Jade, which therefore Cody has to tag in Red Velvet. Velvet and Jade tie up here. It's Jade who runs at her with like a bicycle kick to sort of the boob more than the face.
Yeah, it was to the chest. Yeah.
There's then Velvet who comes back off the top with a cross body, but Cargill catches her, hits her with a fall-away slam and a kip-up, kind of like Adam Paige there. Shaq is on the outside now, and the Gun Club, who are part of the Nightmare family, along with like 30 other people, decide, hey, well, the ref's not looking. I'm going to help my boy Cody out. And Austin Gunn decides it would be a good idea to take his chair, the steel chair, and smack Shaq with it, who no-sells it, grabs Gunn and like whips him over the barricade here and like body slams the shit out of the Gun Club. This looked great.
Yeah.
They're a lot smaller than Shaq, and he's just body slamming them like nothing. While all this is going on, Red Velvet hits a moonsault to the outside onto Jade, Cody, and QT. So took out more so her team than Jade, but still. Then they fight back into the ring here, and Jade is now getting the offense, beating down on Red Velvet. The women in this match decide to set up tables ringside because fuck it, why not? Hardcore, baby. There's Red Velvet who hits her with an enziguri in the ring, and then Cody tags himself back in, so Shaq's back in. Shaq gains the upper hand on Cody, sets him up for a powerbomb, does the classic Brody Lee like taunting move before the powerbomb. Powerbombs Cody in a great looking powerbomb.
Oh yeah,
I thought just flattening him here. Jade hits a spine buster. There's then like chaos, all four people fighting everywhere. It comes to conclusion with Shaq on the apron, and I mentioned that there was tables set up. He's like where he should be to be tagged. Cody runs at him with like a spear through the ropes kind of move.
Over the rope.
Yeah.
He jumped
like
over the top. Yeah.
Diving over the ropes onto Shaq. They both fly off the apron through these two tables. Wow, I can't believe Shaq took that bump.
Great bump.
What a bump. This takes out Cody and Shaq, leaving Red Velvet alone to hit a spear on Jade, but she can't keep her down, only a 2 count. Jade uses her strength, gets up, hits her with this double chicken wing face buster, the implant buster, and Jade pins Velvet. Shaq has won his first match in AEW. Wow.
1-0.
Shaq.
I loved this. I thought it was great. I loved the decision to kick off the show with this. I think if you're trying to get eyes on people tuning in for Shaq, it's a lot easier to just be like, it's 8 p.m. We're starting off with it, rather than tune in sometime between 9:40 and 10,
right.
You know. It made the show a really hot start. We've all been down on this story, right, going into it. The story sucked. But as soon as Shaq and Jade came out, I started getting excited. I was like, yeah, actually, I'm quite curious for this match. Thought Jade and Red Velvet looked great. Jade's going to be fantastic in this division. She's got a star quality about her. I thought all the moves she hit looked good. Red Velvet, I really hope they sign her because...
what, she's not signed?
Not yet, no. She's on like a retainer contract.
Oh, she's got to be signed then. Yeah.
I would think so. I thought she looked great. Her like spin kick looked awesome. Shaq taking that table bump. It kind of felt like you could just ignore all the story going into this. This just felt like an exhibition. Like Cody was essentially playing heel in this match with the Gun Club using the chairs. I'm pretty sure he poked Shaq in the eye before doing that dive through the tables.
Right.
But it's like, this is out of canon. This is just, it's Shaq in a wrestling match. Watch it. Table bump was great. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was great fun.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and we figured that this was either going to be a train wreck or it would be this. It wasn't the greatest wrestling match ever, but I was genuinely like interested in seeing Shaq try to do some moves, and he did a great power bomb, and he took that bump, which was nuts. And I know he's like standing there for a while, but he went flying.
Yeah,
he went flying. He's big, and he flew through those two tables. So. And you could tell there was like some padding and stuff underneath them. But like, fuck, he took the bump. You saw that Gronk didn't want to fall off into people. Shaq's like, I'll fucking jump into two tables. No problem. I'm not too big into basketball as well. I know Shaq because he's like a pop culture icon for the past like 20 years plus. But it wasn't something I needed. But like, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I listened to the Cody media call earlier.
Okay.
And they were saying that Shaq said that it's going to be the greatest celebrity match ever, and Pat McAfee replied like something like, "I beg to differ."
Right.
And Cody went, it's funny Pat says that because he doesn't stop calling AEW wanting a job here.
Oh, yeah, I saw him tweet about last night.
Yeah.
He was like, "Great job, Shaq," and all that stuff. Could you imagine that if Pat McAfee weasels his way into it?
Is he the Hall of Fame worthy?
Hall of Fame worthy
star.
Jeez, oh no. Is it? Don't do that to me. After the match, everyone's checking on Shaq because he's just knocked out. So Jade technically won the match, but Shaq is hurt. So they have to load him onto like some stretchers. They're going to take him to the back. When we come back from commercial, it's like... He's being dragged out here, and they're like, "Oh, this is serious." He has to bend his legs to fit into the ambulance.
JR says it like kind of tongue in cheek as he's getting loaded in. He's going, "Oh, it's serious."
Oh, it's serious.
And he's meant to be like knocked out, and then you just see him lift his legs
he's
to like
"I'm
tuck
okay.
himself.
I gotta fit in this ambulance. So then they like cut back to like ringside, Daly's place, as like commentary are talking, JR's talking, and then you see like Tony has now made his way to the ambulance, and it cuts back mere seconds after, and he's like, "Hold on, I gotta get a word with Shaq here. I'm not gonna let this go off like this." And then opens the ambulance door. First of all, what are you doing, Tony? The guy's hurt. Why would you be doing that? That's fun. Last night on NXT, we talked about how the therapist was like totally breaking the rules of like client confidentiality. This fucking Tony's just going into the ambulance.
I think Tony Khan needs to sit down with Shivani and Alex Marvez and be like, "Marvez, you can't just keep showing up at people's houses
there's
unannounced.
rules.
And
Fuck.
If one of our talent's in an ambulance going to the hospital, Tony, like, leave him be."
So he goes to look at Shaq and try to get a word with him. He must have saw him move his legs, so he's like, "He's alive. I can talk to him." He opens the ambulance door like, "I got to get this scoop," but Shaq is gone.
Supernatural Shaq.
Poof, vanished. Shaq has disappeared, and Tony's like, he's not here. Well, where is he?
I have a theory that you're kicking off the show with this Shaq match. You're thinking you might get a few like non-wrestling fans, but who watch SportsCenter, who know who Shaq is, that kind of thing, coming and watching. And this little thing might just be to get those people go, "Oh, I kind of want to find out," and wonder there might be, we might come back to this later tonight.
Yeah.
So maybe a way to try and keep people in to watch the whole show, even though they didn't address this again.
They didn't address it at all.
No.
So I haven't looked this up. What happened to Shaq?
Magic.
He was a genie.
He's taken the Undertaker's powers since Mark Calloway retired. He's now the Undertaker.
So he's fine, or did someone just take him out of there?
Christian, I don't know.
I just don't understand. What I would have done is had him come to and do the interview with Shivani and be like, say something, get Jade over.
This is more interesting. We're now curious. We're talking about it, like what is happening next with Shaq, because it leaves you to think there's got to be more. If you're doing this vanishing angle, he's gonna reappear at some point.
See, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's interesting because it's like it's getting people talking. Like, well, wait, what the fuck happened with Shaq? But at the same time, it's dumb. It's stupid. We just saw him there, and then it's like, let's cut to the sky for a second because they're outside. Let's cut to the sky of the. Look at the sun here in Florida. Oh wait, let's go back to Tony. Oh, he's gone. It's so carny. It's like, come on, like
it's magic. We see people disappear in wrestling all the time.
It made me laugh and just went, what you did a good thing with that match. Why do you gotta try to reverse that?
I thought it was quite funny.
Is he the Hall of Famer?
No.
Worthy Hall of Famer? He should sign. That's the
yeah.
He's like, I'm the one. Big Show help me sign. And then I don't know. Fuck.
I think that would be a disappointment. I
Yeah.
think it'll be someone new.
Disappearing Shaq Fu. So we continue on to some actual wrestling into this show. The Death Triangle, well, two parts of it. Pac and Ray Phoenix are going up against John Skyler and D3, the Mighty Ducks D3. They beat the hell out of Skyler like right away. Pac and Ray Phoenix are on fire. D3 tries to get in there, but it's the rope run, like Pele kick from Ray Phoenix, then the Fosbury flop from Pac to the outside, then a 450, and Ray Phoenix hitting the Fire Thunder driver. And it's a squash match, and the Death Triangle kind of showing that they're here to stay here. They want to be a prominent tag team.
I love this squash. I want to see more of these. Just 1 minute of these two guys just hitting the most insane looking moves and then winning. I thought this was great. I loved this. Yeah,
it definitely helped push their needle here. You're like, oh yeah, you guys are like super talented wrestlers that are kind of underutilized, and here they come out and squash some people. So they're going to be in that tag team battle royal on the pay-per-view. So maybe there's the shoe in there to see if they win.
I think that's my pick to win for sure.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Pac and Ray Phoenix versus the Bucks.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what we're going for.
We go to the Inner Circle press conference in the ring. I feel like they do these a lot.
They do.
Okay. They say, hey, we have our title match this weekend against the Young Bucks. Thanks to Barstool Sports, says Chris Jericho. Because they're there and they're letting people take like media things. Jericho says, well, I've lost my title 1 year ago and it's fine. I've moved on. I'm a 7-time tag team champion. And I've tagged with greats. I've been champion with Dwayne Johnson. I've been champion with Big Show. But no one I've ever tagged with is as nearly as good as MJF. So we're going to be champions. I'm going to be 8-time tag champion. They go to Conrad Thompson, who says, what are the odds of you guys letting Sammy Guevara back in the Inner Circle? MJF calls him turkey tits and says, we don't want to hear his name brought up ever again. It's not happening. Move on. Let it go. Find a new show. Go back to Nebraska is what they say. More Barstool Sports guys. They say, hey, why did you attack the Young Bucks' dad? What was the deal on that? Well, MJF says, he attacked Jericho first, so we just took revenge on him. Not everyone saw that, but he's just making up some blatant lie that the dad attacked Jericho. He says it was an act of self-defense, and we're over these disgusting pores out there who shop at Target. I don't shop at Target, and, well... That malnourished Matt Jackson and that not slick, wish his hair was thick Nick Jackson. Santana grabs the mic and says, yeah, it was our idea to beat up their bitch-ass pops. That's their whole... The only reason these guys are there is like, yeah, we told them. We told them. We did it.
You know what would be a really good idea, guys? Let's beat up their dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question is from Eric B., a.k.a. Eric Bischoff.
Oh, yeah.
Who's here. He says, do you know the condition of Papa Buck? And in your whole career, Jericho, you've had a stupid list of ideas, but why did you do this? And he's like, you idiot. It's you, like basically the little feud between Jericho and Bischoff here. He's yelling at Bischoff, but the Young Bucks come out to interrupt here. They say, we knew having to fight you guys coming up, that you'd try to hurt us, that you'd hurt our friends, but our father, you made it personal. And then they just go into a lovely, how do we feel about our dad segment? And they say, well, our dad's the greatest. He knew that we wanted to be wrestlers, so he got us a ring in the backyard. He taught us everything. Faith, family, love. All the things, Jericho and MJF, your fathers failed to do.
Ooh.
Damn, dad burns. Our dad built us a ring. And then we became the Young Bucks. And then we created this company. And without our dad, you wouldn't be here. Without our dad, MJF, you'd be waiting for a callback to the Rosie O'Donnell show. And without our dad, Jericho, well, you'd be still jerking the curtain at the Performance Center. And then they all kind of get mad. And then the Bucks decide to super kick them, take on the Inner Circle. There's a giant pull apart. Brandon Cutler's out there again on Dynamite. And then they set up tables and they put through some of the guys. Like one of the guys jumps off. And I think it's Nick who does a swanton.
Nick does swanton and Matt does the elbow, I think. Yeah.
Taking out everyone here. So the Bucks making it known they're serious heading into their title match this Sunday.
I like this, and I hope they keep on doing it whenever Jericho and MJF do like a town hall meeting, whatever it is. You need to get Eric Bischoff on. I quite like that as a running joke. I think Matt Jackson might have cut the best promo I've ever heard him cut. I thought it sounded great. I often find him especially quite melodramatic, just overacts a lot and pushes the drama, and it often puts me off. Whereas I thought here he sounded just really genuine and truthful, and I think he's kind of right. Like, would there be an AEW if there wasn't the Bucks? Like, I've read their book, and it's, yeah, their dad was super supportive, built them a ring and everything, encouraged them to wrestle. You wonder if there was no Young Bucks, would there even be an AEW? So I like the truth in that. Can't say I'm too looking forward to the actual match itself.
Yeah.
But this did what it needed to do in heating up the feud a bit more.
Yeah, I liked everything except the jerking the curtain at the Performance Center. It's like, okay, well, like...
Yeah, I'm sort of with you there.
They're using buzz... They like to use these, like, buzzwords. Even the MJF thing, it's like, if you've seen... MJF has been on the Rosie O'Donnell thing. It's like, I feel like it's played out now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing you got
I
on
think
this.
They referenced it last week.
The Max Caster guy referenced it
Yeah.
to him. It's like, we've heard about this. It's been a thing for a while. It's like... Is there nothing else you can say to this person other than that? And then the Jericho line, it's like, well, Jericho wasn't really in the Performance Center to begin with, so it's like,
yeah, like why would he be jerking the curtain there?
Like, I get where they're trying to go. Like, you could have said you would have been just like wasted away or something along those lines, but
jerking the curtain for a 3-hour bore fest, something like that would
literally
be a bit better. But I know what you mean. I don't mind jabs at like management from the other side, like here and there. It's a bit of fun. And again, in that Cody call, he was saying, look, we're all kind of mates, like we want what's best for the business, because he was asked about the possible move, and he goes, yeah, I mean, they may move to Tuesday, but something else will pop up on a Wednesday. There's always going to be competition,
right? And
he said, like, most of us are like best friends with the other guys on the other side, so it's all friendly banter back and forth. But I don't know, it's kind of insulting to your Ciampa, Thatcher, grizzled young vets who were jerking the curtain last night.
Yeah.
You know? But when it's a dig at Triple H or Vince, I'm like, all right, here and there, it's okay.
Well, it's like there's so many other things. Like the last time Jericho was in WWE, like there was like a special Raw reunion thing, and he was still under there, and they just had him in a backstage thing with Elias.
Yeah.
They could have said that.
Yeah.
that could have popped me huge.
Yeah.
You could still be just hanging around
backstage with some wannabe musician.
Like all the things Jericho was doing in the past, but you mentioned something.
Walking around with your clipboard.
Yeah, it just he wasn't at the Performance Center.
No.
It's just weird. It was just a weird line. But other than that, I enjoyed this. I think the match could be good. I feel like the Young Bucks will pull out a crazy match. I'm interested in seeing Jericho and the Bucks in the match.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing MJF mixed with them, because I really liked MJF when he's against the faster guys like your Jungle Boys and stuff. So I actually think they could mix it up quite well. But yeah, my excitement level's not high for this one, but maybe that's a good thing, because they might exceed expectations.
I think it should be good. I think it should deliver. We have the video for the exploding barbed wire death match, and it has clips of all sorts of people like JR, Tony, Moxley, Kenny, all promoting it, and the great Onita in his leather jacket, and he's like, this is a pretty fucked up match, and it kind of makes sense why both these guys are in it. I wonder if they told
what he said, I think the rules you've added are spectacular and very fitting for you too.
Yeah, he knows they're sick. They're sick wrestlers, and he's like, you guys are going to kill each other. Yeah. So Onita giving it his blessing for this match.
This video reminded me when they were hyping up the first Elimination Chamber, when none of us knew what it was going to look like until the day.
Right.
But you saw videos and you saw like the chain link and stuff like that, and you go, oh, and you give little like hints of it. And we didn't see what the whole structure or whatever's going to look at, but you saw little hints where it can kind of excite you a bit.
They showed clips of it here, like a ring already set up
Yeah.
with barbed wire, yeah.
But obviously we don't know how the explosion's going to work or anything like that. Like, Mox mentioned landmines before. Is that how they're going to do the explosions?
What the fuck?
That's how, like, Funk and Foley did it, right? It was the
Yeah.
landmines, whereas the ones we're talking about on Best Deathmatch Ever, it's kind of the ropes explode. I'm intrigued. I thought this was a cool video, but I didn't necessarily think this was enough for your go-home show.
Yeah.
This is the selling point for me, this match.
Yeah, I thought for sure they'd end the show with, like, them face-to-face.
Yeah.
100%. And this was the only mention of this match. That's kind of a down for me on this show. I was like, wait a second. You're going to the, like, craziest sounding match ever in North American wrestling history. And this is the hype for it. Like, sure, you got Onita, and it's great. He could have said more. He could have. I know he's in Japan and things are crazy right now, but sending a video was cool enough. But like, imagine if he was the ref or something. Like, I saw this video and I was like, oh, that looks sick. I can't wait to see if they talk about it later tonight. And then there wasn't anything.
No.
So that's why it was a little weird, a little strange. But I'm still super hyped for the match. I guess how much more can you hype that up?
Yeah, I know. I just think, especially with maybe you've got more people watching because of Shaq, and maybe some of those people like what they see and stick around and watch the rest of the show. I think you did need some sort of face-to-face.
We didn't get the champ
at the end
on the show. We didn't get Moxley talking about how he beat Kento. We didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't get any.
And it could have been very simple. I'm not saying a 20-minute thing. You just need that visual, that stare
At the
down,
end.
and just be like, oh, I can't wait for this match to happen.
Because our main event of the night was Mark Quinn and Matt Hardy versus Paige and John Silver.
Yeah.
And then it was just a brawl of tag teams at the end. That was your go-home show for this pay-per-view. That wasn't that hot. Whereas if you just had Kenny and Mox come out, you should have just had Mox come out, beat up some of the heel tag teams, clear the ring when they're all clearing it anyways, and go... That's so
Then
WWE.
you just shit on that whole match. Like, why would I want to see a battle
That's
royal?
WWE booking there. They always do that. But I would have had Moxley been like, "Hey, Kenny, come out here. Let's talk about this."
Yeah.
Or something. Anything. A face-to-face contract. Anything.
Something. Yeah.
Literally anything to end the show with them being like, one of us is exploding.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. And it was just really weird. Missed opportunity, I thought. So is Moxley gonna pin Kenny, walk off, and then the thing's gonna time out, and he's gonna run and jump on him,
Moxley's gonna save him,
cover him? I don't think so. I don't think they hate each other too much to do that. I'm still excited for this match, but yeah. We go to my main event. FTR teaming with Tully Blanchard with JJ Dillon going up against Jurassic Express. Some would say Tully is a dinosaur, but he's fighting one here tonight. Tully looking mad fresh.
Oh, I loved his gear.
Yeah.
I think Tully has quite a good look. I always like his sneakers. I like his bandana mask he wears. I think he's a man of style.
His gear
Unlike his mate Arn.
Yeah.
His mate Arn's been dressing like he's a granddad for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Whereas
Tully looks like a Tully literally looks like my grandpa.
Tully looks like an old guy, but is like... Still, just because I'm old, I'm not going to start wearing flat caps and beige. You know, he's like, I still want to look good.
Yeah.
And he does. God bless you, Tully Blanchard.
He's in gear. Like, it's made gear for this. So he's wrestling.
It was kind of, he had like red tights on they all had matching white boots with red stars on. But then he had like this fitted polo shirt, like collared polo shirt.
But it was
which
like athletic. Like
like an athletic polo shirt.
Yeah.
It was an interesting look, but I think it worked for him.
Yeah.
And a guy that age, for sure.
Well, Tully starts the match with Marco Stunt and gets in at it. He starts like punching at Marco, trying to beat up Marco. I was like yelling at the TV, like, yeah, get it, Tully, let's go. but he tags in Dax, who comes in. Dax and Jungle Boy are wrestling here. They're doing some great stuff here. We obviously saw their singles match, which I would like to see again, but these two tying it up. Cash tries to get involved, and Jungle Boy German suplexes both of them. I think that's a kind of a silly spot. It's like, whoa, wait, I'm getting German. Let me grab my buddy so that I can German him while I'm getting Germaned. Yeah. Tully's in. Everyone's on the outside at one point. Tully teases he's going to do a suicide dive.
I love this.
But instead does a Ric Flair strut. Like,
strut.
I'm not fucking doing a suicide dive. Are you crazy? You psychos?
This always pops me. Kevin Owens does it a bunch where he builds up and then just rolls under.
Yeah.
Or the running into the corner with a slap, or the Kevin Nash one. I love.
Oh,
was that
God.
TNA, I think?
Yeah.
Where it always pops me. I find it very funny.
The Bucks in the Indies used to do shit like that all the time. Tully then fakes that and does his strut. There's some body slams on the outside. I think Dax moves some of the covering so it's cement, and then body slams Jungle Boy onto it back first. Then Tully's like stomping him out. Dax is working on Jack in the ring, does like a nose honk, grabbing the nose and the mouth, fish hooking almost. There's then a back suplex to try to break out of it, and Luchasaurus is tagged in. He hits a series of kicks to everyone. And like I said, it's a dinosaur versus Tully as he's trying to fight him. But the Luchasaurus is in. Marco flies in like this crazy, like, is it the assisted crossbody to Tully here?
Right.
It looked amazing. So Tully taking some bumps here. There's then German suplexes on FTR. There's then a Rana from Jack to Dax, who gets like caught. It's a top rope Hurricane Rana, but then in midair, Luchasaurus catches him and power slams him. Looked amazing for a near fall. Cash hits a DDT on the outside to Luchasaurus. There's their superplex into the splash combo for a 2 count, but then like it's Cash who's hitting German suplexes, dragon suplexes, but it's broken up by Marco, and here it is, the stare down. Finally, everyone else is laid out. Marco and Tully hits him with the slingshot suplex. Looks amazing, but Luchasaurus is up. He's gonna choke slam Tully, but then he's like, Tully's kind of selling like, I'm old, I'm hurt, what are you doing? So Luchasaurus feels bad and he's like, all right, I'll just kick you in the head. So he roundhouse kicks Tully, takes him out.
The tail whip kick, which I kind of like that name for.
Then they hit I think it's called the derailleur, but I'm calling it the Jurassic derailleur. It's the one where the Luchasaurus lifts one guy up and he spins like 3 times, and Jungle Boy catches you and power bombs you. Looks crazy, but it's broken up. This is when we see some sort of like cameraman get involved. He's wearing all black AEW stuff. Gets involved. Looks like he hits someone with something, which allows. Like it's Luchasaurus who's been taken out. It allows FTR
with the camera.
Yeah. It's like we're not sure who it was, but I think we could all put it together. There's then the Mind Breaker, and Tully Blanchard gets the win. Tully not only wrestled, but also won a match on the same night Shaq wrestled.
Oh yeah,
won a match. So FTR and Tully beat Jurassic Express, and after the match, it's revealed the cameraman, this guy, is the perfect 10. Blonde Ty Dillinger.
Yep. Gimmick number 18 for Sean Spears in AEW.
At least he didn't use the glove.
Dyed his hair.
Did he use the glove?
He might have. He
might have slugged him with that metal glove.
I really enjoyed this. What I do like with AEW is they don't seem to do the bait and switch that we're so used to. I'm so used to WWE booking that you see this match is going to happen and you go, we're not actually getting Tully Blanchard. He's going to pretend to be sick on the day and then we're going to have Sean Spears replace him or whatever. I was fully expecting him not to be wrestling. Or even if he was, I was expecting him in, tracksuit, t-shirt. Whereas he came out in wrestling gear and he wrestled like someone who was aware that he's a wrestler who is now of a certain age. You see him the whole time, he's on the apron, but he's waiting for, like, Luchasaurus's back to be turned. Because he'll tease, it's like, right, I can go in and get a few shots in here, and we'll run back. And his strikes still look good. He didn't look like, because he's an old man now, he's like, I need to wrestle like an old man.
Right.
He looked like an old man trying to wrestle like he used to wrestle.
Yeah.
Did way more than I thought he would. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't like a classic by any means, but I wasn't expecting to see the slingshot suplex and him take a bump even or a kick to the head. I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, as a wrestling
it almost
fan,
baby-faced FTR and Tully. Actually, it did baby-face FTR and
100%.
Tully.
I love my Jungle Boy Jack. I think Jungle Boy Jack Perry is going to be one of the big stars in this company. I every time I watch him, I look at him and go, look at this guy with the jungle gimmick. And then like his match goes on and I'm like, this guy just understands wrestling. It's a great combo of the old school meets the new school, and what a great like opponents to have these guys fight. I think we've talked about Jurassic Express as the too cool of the new generation.
Yeah.
The really weird fucking lame gimmick that somehow makes it funny and work, but when it comes to like getting over, they are over. Their theme song's lit. Jungle Boy's theme is lit. But seeing Tully in the ring made me go, okay, I want to see him do everything. I want to see him win the match. I want to see And I was like, sorry guys, you got to take the back seat tonight, but Tully's winning this match.
Yeah.
So I feel like this feud would continue.
Maybe. We obviously got the tease of the Four Horsemen at the end.
So it's revealed he's dyed his hair blonde. He puts up the 4. Arn Anderson comes out on the ramp and goes, that looks good.
Interesting.
Puts up the 4, and then they put up the 4. So there's like 6 guys in this.
So is JJ was the manager of Four Horsemen,
Right.
so he's that extra guy. Arn was obviously part of it. It almost looked like he was just at the back, and he's like, oh, this is curious. I'll go out and be like, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Is Tully part of the 4, though? Or is that just for now?
Well, he won the match tonight.
Because I don't see JJ Dillon sticking around, so I do expect Tully to move into that more manager role. Are we still going to get a 4th person added to this, or is this the 4?
Okay. So Four Horsemen's been this like talk for like time since FTR like came in here. Then we had Tully show up and everyone's like, oh, it's the Four Horsemen. We're gonna get your fantasy booking MJF and Paige and Cody, and like there's so many different avenues you could go. And then they just made it Tully and such. But Tully was with Sean Spears, and I'm sorry, St. Catherine's boy, Niagara Falls zone. I don't see it.
No,
it doesn't work for me. Like we mentioned, joked about the gimmicks. It's so many gimmicks. He's not on that level. I'm sorry, he's not. And this was a bit of a letdown. As soon as there was a covered up cameraman, you knew it was him. Yeah. And you go, okay, cool.
He's been away for a while.
Yeah, he didn't even disappear. He said he was leaving. He was done to go to Impact.
I'm with you. I'm not particularly a fan of Sean Spears. I think he's a fine wrestler, but just there's not that extra thing with him, and just the cool, now you've got a blonde mohawk. Like, this time you're wearing a glove. This time you've got contact lenses in.
All the little things you're doing.
It just always feels like, what can I do now to try and get over?
You put lipstick on a pig, right?
Yeah.
Still a pig.
But this is the way they're going. I would have liked someone else. I still think they could add, like, a younger guy to actually make 4... like proper performers.
Well, Arn coming out and going, like stroking his beard and going, and putting up the 4, it means like he's going to talk to Cody, right?
But Cody's got his Nightmare Lads, he's got his Elite, like Cody's in enough. He's got
Cody's
Shaq,
doing a
he's
lot.
got a kid, he's a VP, like
Cody's doing a lot.
Cody can like chill.
Yeah. In that meeting, okay, this is I was saving this to because we are roommates and we talk sometimes while we're not recording, and then we forget to even mention what we want to talk about. You've been off on how you think Cody is going to be the greatest heel in like when it happens.
Yeah.
He said in that same media thing that someone was like, hey, well, like, are you ever going to turn heel or whatever? And he's like, yeah, why do you think I set up that title clause? That clause that doesn't let me fight for the title? What bigger heel move would it be if I went, nah.
Fuck it. Yeah. True.
So I was like, God damn you, Cody. He's probably doing that.
I do see Cody kind of in that role. We were talking about Finn Balor yesterday, where he is a babyface, but if he needs to lean heel, like if he's having a match against, say, a Jungle Boy, he'll definitely take the heel role in the match, and then afterwards can do the respect thing and get his like babyface heat back, I guess.
Look, Cody and FTR sounds great. What a team, Cody and FTR. Classic old school wrestling vibes there. And Sean Spears. It's just like,
Outside bet, I wouldn't be totally against an Ethan Page joining this.
Okay.
I think he's got a similar kind of size, build, and style to FTR.
Right.
He can talk really well. It would be it would be a good way to try and elevate him. Cody doesn't need it, you know?
Yeah. Cody doesn't need it.
I think
Hangman.
I think it's too late for Spears, but I mean, he's someone that if it works, it could elevate him. Who knows? I don't see it happening, but I don't think Hangman really needs it.
Hangman's this guy who's like seems to be lost, and he's been going through different groups and different things. So it would make sense if they try to recruit him.
Yeah.
The next thing. But I love FTR. I'm just not sold on Shawn Spears. It definitely makes me go, oh, okay. Like, it would have been more interesting with someone else.
For sure.
Unfortunately. Sorry, Shawn Spears.
Poor Shawn, yeah.
Yeah. You're like, hey, you're not like the worst guy ever. It's just, you've been in the industry for a while, and this whole thing needs to maybe be about someone new. Because, the blonde mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see. Maybe Cody does join them, and he leaves the Nightmare family. He says, Brandy, I'm done. I don't even... we're having a girl? A girl? Get out of here.
I just think it makes the rest lesser. I don't think that brings up them to Cody's level.
Right.
I feel they're then Cody's minions. And that's why I'd like someone more on the level of...
So Shawn Spears.
But, like, I think you look at Team Taz, and I think that's elevate. They're all kind of at the same level. Your Cage, your Starks, your Hobbs. And they're coming up together. They're building up together rather than having just one guy with minions around him.
Yeah. I mean, that's how he is now. He's got all his minions.
Yeah, but they're not a faction, are
Right,
they? It's
yeah.
more his training school, I see, with Cody and his Nightmare lads.
Again, it's all confusing because if you tuned in being like, hey, I haven't watched wrestling in a while, I want to see who's fighting Shaq and all this, and you go, oh, Shaq's clearly like the good guy in this because you have Austin Gunn beating him up with the chair, so you think Cody's the bad guy, but yeah, a little backwards. Who do you want in the Four Horsemen at Up Next podcast? Fantasy book the best possible way. They should steal Jack Perry. They should be like, you know what?
Sure.
You don't need these guys. You're better
I mean,
than
that
these guys.
I'm more down for than Cody or Hangman
Like, Jack,
or Omega or...
Jack, you beat me. You made me tap out, Jack. We had Tully beat you guys. We beat you guys. We've been feuding with your dinosaurs and your Marco. Look how small that guy is. Jack, though, all you need to do is cut that hair and put on this great gear, and you're one of us. And, like, there's a story right there that's way more interesting than just going to the 10 guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, book it. Jungle Boy Jack. He can still be called Jungle Boy, right?
Yeah.
He cuts his hair? Yeah. Although, you can't be a heel with that theme song. You cannot be a heel with that theme
Would it
song.
be Jungle Horse? Jack?
That's weird. Jungle. What would a jungle
Horse Boy Jack?
Are there horses in
Jungle
jungles?
Horse. I don't know, but
Scary.
there aren't jungle
Yeah, that sounds
horses in
weird.
jungles. But now I want
Jungle
need a
horse.
show called Jungle Horse. It'll be some sort of cartoon. Yeah.
Isn't there already a show with the horse guy cartoon?
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
It's finished now. There's room for
BoJack
another.
Jungle Horseman. So, after this Four Horsemen type thing, the revelation, Fear the Revelation, Tully and Shawn Spears all walk off as Tony's just kind of hanging out on the entrance ramp. J.J. Dillon kind of passes him by and goes, "You see that? Did you see that? Did you?" And Tony, this is probably a shoot. He goes, "Yeah. You don't get paid extra for that," and like shoos him away.
So funny because it wasn't even like Tony had already started introducing the Big Show.
Yeah.
He's already started introducing him, and then he's like, "Nothing's gonna top what you saw just then." Tony's just like, "Yeah, fuck off." Anyway, Big Show's signed.
Yeah.
This got a chuckle from me.
Here comes Paul White in his No BS shirt. We mentioned kind of earlier that he says, "Raise your hand if you saw this turn coming." Yeah. He says, "You knew for a long time. I wasn't super happy where I was, but I'm super happy to be back where I started on TNT." And Tony, you're not the only one who gets the scoops. This Sunday, Hall of Fame worthy signing, and it's not who you think it's gonna be. Tune in to find out who we got.
Ooh.
So yeah, I didn't really care for this. I like Big Show. I'm pretty sure he's probably like one of the nicest, sweetest guys in the industry. Honestly, I'm just like, he comes out looking like your dad. Like, he comes out looking like your
His
uncle.
jeans and t-shirt.
Looks like a guy who works at the mechanic shop. Like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, I'm mad at that other store, so I'm working here now." And it's just, I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. And the shirt doesn't do him any justice. He looks great. He's trimmed down. He's still huge. He's tall. I'm just like, I don't want to see you wrestle.
No.
Don't really think I'm going to be watching Elevation. Shout out Shot in the Dark. But why are you here?
I'm curious to see him on commentary. I am, because I think he's always been, well, over the last few years he's been a very good talker, I think. So I think his commentary could be quite good. So I am curious. I don't mind a match here and there, like a spectacle match for Big Show.
Yeah.
And I think that's been his problem the whole time in WWE. He should have been a spectacle, but he was on TV every week. He was changing heel, babyface, heel,
always
babyface.
That heater feuds.
Yeah, and I think they could have kept him more special by using him a lot less, because he is a big guy. He was pretty athletic for his size, but we just saw him all the time, so we stopped caring. Yeah. I think maybe if you keep him on commentary, and we'll get a match out of him at some point, but just keep it for special things. Do Shaq. Do Marco Stunt for like a laugh, just to see.
He took out Shaq.
Yeah.
He was the one who took him out of the ambulance.
He saved him.
Yeah. I don't know if he saved him.
You still owe me a match as he's carrying him in his arms. We set it up in Dallas and it never happened.
Fuck. Yeah. Big Show. Sorry.
I got abs for you, Shaq.
I stopped eating ice cream. Fuck. You know how hard that was?
I almost gave up my vape for you, Shaq.
No, don't even. Big Show will never give up the vape. Listen to our deathmatch show that we randomly go off on Big Show vaping.
Maybe that could be the explosions in the barbed wire.
Fall
Paul
vaping.
White's just under the apron, just vaping.
I mean, he's probably got huge lungs. Imagine the vape smoke and vape clouds. This guy.
Oh yeah.
I searched. Big Show is famous for vaping at that Hall of Fame. But then if you search Big Show vape that picture pops up. But like the third picture is him in a T-shirt that says like Vape God. It's like, yes, you are Big Show. You are the Vape God. Fuck yeah. What kind of flavors do you think Big Show vapes? He's like a green apple kind of guy.
Oh, what would Big Show like?
Yeah. Maybe like not a vanilla. It'd be like more of a fruity one. I'd see like a blue raspberry lemonade type vape. That's what he's
maybe
on.
some kind of like rum flavored. I don't know,
Rum
like some alcohol sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Be all right.
Ask him. Tweet him now. I'm gonna ask him.
What's his @ now? Is it Big Show or
Hi,
Paul White?
Big Show. Let's have a look.
At the large event. Big Show. We go to our next match. It is the finals of the Women's Eliminator Tournament. Nyla Rose versus Ryo Mizunami. The winner of this faces the winner of this match faces Hikaru this Sunday at Revolution. Almost slipped up there. Almost. Ryo comes firing at Nyla here. A series of chops, beating up on Nyla, and then starts to dance. Starts to do some like outdated dance moves, which pisses off Nyla, who just big boots her into the face. There's a tilt-a-whirl like power slam here. Nyla goes for a tilt-a-whirl herself, but misses. There's Ryo, who hits like a flying guillotine leg drop to the apron. I'm pretty sure that's how she won her last match to advance to this. Then there's like slaps, there's chops, there's Ryo who hits this crazy lariat and then like a knee drop, and then this sweet exploder Uranagi style move for a near fall, and then like a superplex onto Nyla. Nyla fights back though, but it's not enough. We get to see the guillotine leg drop off the top rope from Ryo, who then pins Nyla, and I'd say an upset. I wasn't sure. I thought for sure that we'd just be booking Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida again, but I was way more into this decision because I'm not too familiar with Ryo Mizunami, but after watching this match, I was like, all right, yeah, I can fuck with that.
I did see Mizunami winning. I couldn't see them flying her all this way to just do one match on Dynamite and then go home. And we've seen Nyla a bunch against Shida, but it does feel for a pay-per-view a very cold match, having Shida versus Mizunami. I'd have thought you'd have had like Britt Baker or someone like that who's got a bit more history with Shida. It took me a while to get into this match, but I thought the second half of it was actually really entertaining, and I put that largely down to Mizunami. I thought her offense looked pretty cool, actually. I liked her leg drop. There was some great like forearm exchanges. Nyla's Death Valley Driver looked really good. I actually kind of bit on that finish, that sort of near fall there. So yeah, I actually kind of got into this match towards the end, and I'm looking forward to see what Mizunami does with Shida on Sunday.
Yeah, me too. I got into Rio in this match. I was like, oh, some of your moves are really cool.
Yeah.
And you looked great. So I'm kind of happy that this happens. After the match, Hikaru stands in the ring. They hand Rio like this trophy. Like, look, you won this tournament. Means so much. And you get to fight me. And then she slaps her. And they kind of they're more heated now. They're like, it's not so friendly. I want that title, essentially.
This felt, they did a forum exchange, but this just felt like the spot in the middle of a strong style New Japan match where Shida was smiling throughout it as well. It was like, all right, let's see what you got. And they did this forearm exchange. It was different to set it up. I think, and it actually made me quite excited because I think we're going to get a heavy hitting match.
Yeah, this match could bang. I think. I like Shida in her suits.
She looked great.
She looks like a champion. Really good. Yeah, when she dresses like this. So that's coming up this Sunday. Rio versus Hikaru. We go to Tony Schiavone. He is a busy guy tonight. She's trying to interview Shaq. He's interviewing Big Show. And he's interviewing Sting. Sting comes out. Tony says, hey, Sting, you've never looked better.
Sting at the peak of his wrestling career right now. Never looked better.
In his t-shirt.
Yeah.
He says, you never look better, Sting. And you've been fighting off Team Taz. Sting says, well, look, fighting off and getting powerbombed by Brian Cage, that did not tickle. So thank you, Brian, because you shook off that excess rust. And I feel like I'm ready for a street fight. Sting likes to fight in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
But he's interrupted. Ricky Starks comes out. Ricky says, hey, Sting, I'll admit, man, we were wrong. You still got it. You are fire. But you're no icon. And he slaps him. So Sting decks him. He beats Ricky Starks out of his shoes here. Puts him in the Scorpion Deathlock. But out come Will Hobbs and Hook for the save and Brian Cage. But Darby comes out for the save and attacks Cage, standing tall as Team Taz runs away here. So this Sunday, the street fight. I can't believe this match hasn't happened.
This has been built up for so long. I'm hoping once the match happens, we just move into different directions. I don't want to see rematches or anything. No matter, even if it's a 7-star classic match, I'm just ready for the match and to move on now. Sting looks good moving around there. Like, I think
he does.
I think the match could be actually pretty good, and I think it's going to be less cinematic than initially thought. I think they're actually going to put on a match here.
I think this will be fun.
Yeah.
I think this could be like a sleeper hit. I mean, it sounds great. So on paper, it sounds like wild.
Is Sting going to be in street gear? Is he going to be in a tee, or are we going to get the singlet out?
The singlet?
Yeah.
He's going to take off his t-shirt?
I hope so.
Fuck. T-shirt Sting, though.
Yeah.
It's pay-per-view.
He needs to get the...
When he fought Seth, did he take off the t-shirt?
He did.
He did, right?
He had... he wore his singlet against Triple H and Seth, but wore the t-shirt in the tag.
On Raw.
Yeah,
it's Raw.
It's Raw.
He's Naito.
Yeah, he is Naito.
Yeah. Well, they stand tall. Sting and Darby versus Team Taz this weekend. It's Ricky and Cage in the match, right? Okay. So that's this weekend. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. I think it'll be good. But I'm ready for this feud to finish.
We go to 10 from the Dark Order going up against Max Caster, his tag team partner, which I'm totally blanking on his name.
Bowens. Joshua? No.
Bowens, yeah. Well, he's injured.
Bowens.
So that's why he's not in this tag team anymore right now. He's on the shelf. But Max Caster decides I can do this on my own.
Anthony Bowens. Sorry.
What did you say, Josh?
I said Joshua Bowens.
Joshua Bowens? That sounds like some Senate leader. Not a wrestler.
Do wrestlers sound like wrestlers anymore?
Not at all. Not at all.
Anthony Bowens doesn't sound much better, to be honest.
This guy's fucking name is 10. I don't know. So, you tell me the wrestlers' names sound the same. Scorpio Sky joins commentary. Scorpio Sky, who's not been seen for quite a while, he's busy podcasting. He says, I'm in this match, in the ladder match on Sunday. He didn't have to have a qualifying match, but here 10 and Caster, the winner of this match, gets entered into that ladder match. So they do have to qualify. And it's Max Caster who comes out doing his freestyle rap on 10 here. And I quite enjoyed. Maybe he's just better as a solo act because he goes, "Hey, I'll light. I'm something. I'm a Skywalker. I'll light you up like Lady Gaga's dog walker. yes, you're 10, but 5 in the looks department or something like. Fuck, he was killing it. I thought he was so funny. Really mean to Lady Gaga's dog walker, who I hope is okay. I don't know
what happened. No.
This is not a funny story.
Okay.
Lady Gaga has like these 2 like expensive dogs,
right?
And she pays an expensive dog walker to take care of her dogs, like when she's not around. Someone like was realizing the pattern of that it was Lady Gaga's dogs. The dog walker goes at specific times. Showed up to the dog walker, shot the dog walker, stole the dogs. So Lady Gaga's like, "Hey, I'm offering like all this money to find my dogs because her dog. I don't know if they've been found yet, but yeah,
is the dog walker okay?
Dog walker survived. Like they're not gonna die or anything, but they got shot, and the dogs were kidnapped. That's fucked.
When did this happen?
This is a cruel world. This like last week.
A bit early, just casually.
Yeah, I know.
About
That's
this.
what I'm saying. I was like, dude, you're lucky the guy's okay. Because if the guy died, then like you'd be like, or the person died, like.
Fuck. I mean, when you go into like, you know, the army, the police, wrestling, even you risk getting hurt. I can't imagine anyone becoming a dog walker expecting to be shot. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, the pets were revived. She got her dogs back.
Yay. Okay. Happy ending.
And the dog walker did almost die. So, like, that is fucked. Okay. That is... Come on, Max Caster. That's mean.
Come on, dude.
I loved it. I secretly loved it. It got a pop out of me. But I was like, geez. Because, like you said, maybe no one really knew what that meant. But then you're like, wait a second. That's kind of fucked up. It's almost as fucked as... There's a guy in NASCAR who, like, on the race track...
Yeah.
Like, sped out of control, crashed, and died in a fiery death, like, just a few years ago. And then, like, fucking week later, there's this, like, Shady Records, like, rap, like, freestyle thing. And Eminem goes on and ends it, and he goes, I just killed you on the track, like, I'm...
Jesus.
And I'm like, yo, the guy's not even, like, in the ground yet. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? But, fuck, yeah. Max Caster versus 10 here. And he goes to then start rapping on like -1, and he's like, and yo, -1, you're in for a butt whipping if you catch me in these streets, and then like it's interrupted. So he's about to threaten a little kid that catch me in these streets.
Catch me in the streets, I'll beat you up, break your neck.
There's a lot of people in the streets. Sting, Max Caster.
Oh yeah.
-1. They're all in the streets. So the winner of this match goes on to the ladder match. Caster's beating up on 10 here. There's a flying cutter for a near fall. 10 hits a slingshot spear, kind of like Johnny Gargano in there, for a near fall. Caster does this like snap judo throw into like a arm submission type thing. Looked really good actually. Then a snap brainbuster. Misses an elbow drop off the top. There's a power bomb in there from 10, but with a distraction from Jack Evans, who grabs Caster's boombox and smacks it over the head of 10 when the ref isn't looking. He pins 10. Caster advances to the ladder match, and Scorpio's just on commentary like, hey, look at me. Look at me. It's me.
I mean, I don't blame him, because he's in this match and hasn't been on TV at all. I'd be going, look at me, I think. But this was weird. Just a weird combination of people to try and qualify for this match. I thought Scorpio Sky sounded so low energy on commentary. He didn't make me particularly excited to see him. I don't know what he is really doing right now. Is he still associated with SCU? Is he completely his own thing now? I guess Max Caster's the best option out of these two, but it just seems a bit of a weird field, this ladder match for me.
This ladder match is weird. Okay, so far it's Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Penta, Lance Archer, Max Caster, and to be determined. Secret entrance. So you're thinking it's Ethan Paige who enters this? It's just a weird... That's like us in 2K. Like, hey, who should we put in this match?
It does feel like it, yeah.
I'm excited. It could be fun. I wouldn't mind any of these people winning. In fact, this didn't do like a whole lot for me, but maybe it did what it needed to do. Is I went, hey, this guy Max Caster is in this tag team that I'm like, they're okay. They got a gimmick, a rap gimmick, whatever. But then he had a singles match. He's hitting brainbusters, judo throws.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked pretty good.
Both look good, I thought.
Yeah,
here.
legit. I am a kind of a fan, low key, of 10 and Max Caster here.
I think for me at this point, and we were both pretty tired last night. We watched this after we finished recording and editing NXT, so we're watching this around like 3 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah.
It was quite late in the show to have like wrestlers of this level.
Right.
I'm not saying talent-wise, I'm just saying where they are on the pecking order of AEW. And I think when you've had your big Shaq match, your big women's match, your big 6-man tag, and now I'm seeing this towards the end of the show, I was feeling a bit of fatigue because it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. They had an alright match, and hopefully Caster can kind of break out a bit in this ladder match. I will say predictions for after, I guess.
Sure, yeah. We go to Miro. Remember him? He says, "You're making me hurt you, Charles. You're making me do this." They all stop playing games. Stop playing games, Miro. We don't want to see you do this in AEW. Well, you're all going to get your wish this Sunday. It's game over.
Yeah.
Game over, says Miro this Sunday. He's done with the games gimmick. He heard us.
Please just take out Kip. Like, just end it. Go on your own. I've said this for months. No, just be on your own. No one else.
Just Miro.
Just Miro.
Just Miro. Yeah.
I think it's fair to say neither of us are really excited about this match at all.
What even is the match?
It's the tag. It's Chucky and Orange Cassidy against Miro and Kip.
See, like, this is something we have to pay for?
Well, I mean, you're paying for the exploding barbed wire death match, and this happens to be an extra thing on it.
That's a lot of this.
The match should be fine, but we've both hated this build, right?
Yes.
And I was kind of grateful this was all we got for this, just a quick promo.
Sure.
Remind you the match is happening and fuck off.
It's like the main event. It's like the exploding barbed wire.
Yeah,
you just got a little video for it. So let's go to our main event, which is the Dark Order, John Silver, with his tag team partner, Hangman Adam Page, going up against the Hardy Party. Well, two of them, Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. So this Sunday's the big money match, Hardy and Paige. So they got some beef going on here. Johnny Hungy is going off on fire here. JR mentions that John Silver is like a puppy. You just gotta pet him and feed him, and he will be loyal to you. There's crazy like double flips from Silver and Quinn going at it here. There's the Hardy side effect. Then they tag in and out, beating down on John Silver. He comes firing back like a little Spitfire with a sliced bread on Hardy. Finally tags Paige in, who comes in. He hits like a huge one-handed spine buster on Quinn. The fall-away slam into the kip up, into the crossbody to the outside. Then pop-up Death Valley drivers. Hangman Page is just a treat to watch sometimes. He does this thing where he beats the hell out of Quinn and throws him over and be like, tag in. Matt Hardy, tag in. I want to fight you. And Hardy's like, no, I'm not doing that. So it leaves Silver to continue to fight here. Silver's like, makes this hot tag where he's doing like roundhouse kicks, his brain busters. There's crazy German suplexes. There's the pop-up powerbomb from Paige, the buckshot, but Hardy like attacks Paige right after this, and it's like it all kind of breaks down after this match. But technically, John Silver and Adam Page win this match.
I
didn't even.
I haven't got it in my notes.
I didn't care about.
We were both dropping off at this point.
I didn't care about this.
Yeah, I think.
I didn't even care about this.
Yeah, just looking at my notes. I've got no notes.
I have buckshot and then Hardy attacks.
Oh yeah, they won with buckshot.
Yeah, so I imagine he won.
Oh yeah, he hit the buckshot and then Matt Hardy looked terrified after, and there was a bit of a stare down. The match was fine. It was just this shouldn't be the main event. Like early top of the second hour, I'd have been absolutely fine with this match. I like John Silver and Paige. Hangman Page a lot. Silver here looked great. He always looks like he's wrestling on fast forward. He's so quick.
Silver?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But just felt weird, the placement of it. And at this point, I'd just come off of a two lower card people with 10 and Max Caster, and now I'm getting a Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn main event.
Yeah.
I just felt a bit, okay.
Yeah, I'm not taking away from, for me, Silver and Paige are two of my favorite wrestlers going today, and they're fighting Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. I'm like, why should I be excited about this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Last week, Isaiah Cassidy from Private Party showed me. I'm like, hey, you got it going on. So I thought for sure Mark Quinn had to be like, fuck, I'm sweating. I gotta come in here and show people. And it didn't really deliver it, I thought, as much as last week. I didn't really care about this match. After this match, all these tag teams come out. It's a giant brawl because there's a tag team battle royal at the pay-per-view. Like, who fucking cares?
We just had one as well.
I thought this was such a
ago.
soft second half of a show.
Yeah.
You said we fell off. The show fell off.
I loved this show until the last 30 minutes. I thought it flew by.
Yeah.
And then, I thought the placement was just weird. I think this would have been a good going to commercial, this brawl, earlier in the show, and then have just cut Max Caster versus 10. You could have just had that on Dark, maybe.
Yeah.
It makes Dark a bit more interesting. You've got qualifying matches
Sure,
on there.
yeah.
And that 10 minutes should have been a contract signing or something to close the show. Otherwise, I thought it was a very strong show. Just maybe...
a stare down between Mox and Kenny would have made sense.
Yeah.
Just anything to get them into the ring, to cut promos, to talk shit, to one guy beat up the other. It needed to happen, and they didn't do that. I'm wondering if they already filmed this exploding barbed wire death match, because the shots in that video showed it all set up.
Maybe.
So I'm like, would they have set it up twice? Is it going to be live?
I don't know.
Do we know? We don't know.
Well, you've got a crowd, so it's got to be.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. Right.
Pissed if I'd been like, all right, I want to go to Revolution now, risk going to a public space with all these people because I got to see that match, and then you just watch it on a screen.
What, you mean you'd be upset that you went to go see a pay-per-view, and instead of watching a barbed wire exploding death match, you got to see Miro and Kip versus Best Friends, or Bear Country in the Battle Royal?
Yeah, well, let's go through it. So we've got in the pre-show Riho and Thunder Rosa taking on Britt Baker and Rebel.
Thunder Rosa wins.
Yeah, I'd say Rio and Thunder Rosa. This is a tag. Why not?
This is on the pre-show?
That's on the pre.
All right, smoke 'em if you got them.
You've got the Casino Tag Team Royale. If it's Casino Tag Team, does that mean
rules.
they're
rules.
like staggered entrances
Yeah.
and stuff like that?
There are rules to it. Yeah.
I think Pac and Ray Phoenix, they're the only ones with any sort of momentum going into this. Really feels just thrown together. Don't really care.
This whole match, this looking at this pay-per-view now on paper, I'm like, is this whole pay-per-view thrown together? Because this Battle Royal is something they do on Dynamite for free, and now they're doing it on this show with like all these other teams. Cool. I think Ray Phoenix and you know deep down who I really want to win that Battle Royal.
Who?
Mike Seidel.
The Seidels.
The yogis. The
Yeah.
yoga heads.
I think this could be good. I think there's going to be some crazy spots in this, but it's just another Battle Royal, and we've just come off of one. Miro and Kip versus Best Friends. I mean, to be fair, this has been built for a long time. You can't say they just threw it together, but I don't know anyone who's particularly interested.
Orange Cassidy pins Kip.
Yeah, sure.
And then Miro's pissed and beats him up
I'd say maybe Chuck Taylor gets the fall, and then Miro breaks up with Kip. We got Cody versus Scorpio Sky versus Penta versus Lance Archer versus Max Caster versus TBA in the Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future AEW TNT Championship.
I'm going with my boy Penta. Obviously, it makes sense that the surprise person wins this match, but Penta, future TNT title shot. This guy should be champion. So yeah, I'm going with Penta.
I'll go. Ethan Paige is my guess. Right. Really, this isn't going to be a championship match at a pay-per-view. It's going to be on Dynamite, so you could literally go with any one of these guys.
Yeah.
You want to put a bit of steam behind Scorpio Sky, you can give it to him. Like, if you want to try and just be like, oh, remember this guy? It can really go either way. A future TNT title shot can just be a main event on Dynamite in a couple of weeks.
Does Jade or Shaq get involved to stop Cody from winning? Does FTR and Ethan Page join forces?
Maybe.
There could be some tomfoolery.
Even this new person coming out, you can always have someone run out and attack them to set up a feud, so they don't necessarily have to win.
Yeah.
But I would go with the mystery. Adam Page versus Matt Hardy. Winner receives the loser's 2021 first quarter earnings and licensing.
Licensing?
Yeah, they said license. So I guess Pro Wrestling Tees, all that kind of stuff.
Fuck. Matt Hardy have T-shirts on there? Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's got. I will turn off the TV if Matt Hardy wins.
Please don't, because we're watching it together. I'm gonna say Matt Hardy
Yeah,
wins.
because it makes sense. Like, storyline wise, it makes sense. I just don't care about this. I love Hangman, and I'm like, yeah, you're in this rut, and it's part of your story that you're like, look where you are now, considering where you were last year, putting on the match of the year, and now you're fighting Matt Hardy.
I think there's more fun to be had with
Matt
Paige
Hardy
losing.
Yeah.
You can now, maybe he can't really afford Jack anymore and has to have, he's sipping on like
rent.
cheap wine or something like that afterwards. Like,
the cheap
I
whiskey.
think there's more. We've got this sort of Adam Page is this like lost millennial trying to find himself and doesn't know whether he wants to be with friends, be on his own. It kind of makes sense. Just heap on the depression and have him lose his first quarter earnings.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense with that, because there's so many. Then he definitely wants to join the Dark Order. They still want him. They still want to have his back and whatever. But Matt Hardy. Why is he on the pay-per-view?
Yeah, I agree.
Why is this a
It's
match?
a waste of Paige.
Look at who else. Look, you just mentioned that ladder match or that tag battle royal. Look at all the stars in there. I would want Penta versus Adam Page as a pay-per-view match. I would gladly pay to watch that match. But instead, I'm paying to watch Matt Hardy versus Adam Page. It's a little backwards. Why isn't Matt Hardy in that ladder match instead of someone like it? Just like, why is
I don't think Matt Hardy should be in any more ladder matches.
I don't think Matt Hardy should be wrestling right now. Like, realistically, I don't want to just say fuck Matt Hardy. Like, he should be the manager of, and do the Robert Stone thing, Bivens thing. But
every now and then in a tag or a Dynamite match, sure, I don't think we should be seeing Matt Hardy on pay-per-view anymore.
I don't think so. And I can't say, and Hangman's my guy, but I cannot say I'm excited for this match.
We've got Hikaru Shida versus Ryo Mizunami for the AEW Women's World Championship.
I know Rio just went through this whole eliminator, but I think it needs to be Hikaru to retain.
Yeah, I can't see Mizunami staying around, so I think Shida retains. Hopefully, maybe set up some sort of angle for someone else down the line, perhaps. Street Fight, Team Taz, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks taking on Darby Allin and Sting in a street fight.
Yeah, Sting needs to win this match.
Yeah,
Sting and Darby need to win this match to get rid of this Team Taz. They need to move on.
Yes.
Like, move away from this. And Darby's going to have a feud with whoever wins the TNT title thing, so move away from this. But yeah I want to see some violent stuff. Darby's going to do some crazy shit with Sting. Sting does some wild shit back in his days too, so like, who knows what they'll do.
I think Darby Allin and Sting win, and then maybe we have a little shot of Sting like looking at the title or tapping the title or something.
You want Sting versus Darby?
Hey, Sting was the face of TNT for years and years.
He still is.
So
he still comes out every week.
He's got a challenge for that title at some point.
Sting's on every Dynamite.
He is.
So he is the face of
He
TNT.
is. Young Bucks taking on Chris Jericho and MJF, the Inner Circle, for the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
I love the Young Bucks. I think they're the greatest tag team. I think it would freshen things up if they lost the titles right now.
I feel there is still a lot of main event matches with the Bucks as champs. I see Pac and Phoenix taking on Bucks as champions is a big match.
That'd be crazy.
I see a Sammy Guevara return screwing over Inner Circle.
Oh, okay, yeah. With Black Taurus.
Black Taurus. Well, he used to wear the panda head, didn't he?
Yeah. Panda and the Taurus.
Yeah. And then finally, the exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW World Championship. Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley.
So I mentioned earlier, maybe they'll do the Onita Funk thing where Onita wants to help cover Funk. So what if Kenny's like, the match isn't over yet, and he's been like cut up and exploded, and he's like hurting, and he's like, Mox, help me. And Mox is like having second thoughts, like, should I help this guy, whatever? And Kenny uses that and beats him up. I think Moxley's going to take a little hiatus, personally, maybe even just for a few months. He's having a baby. He's alluded to it in the promos.
I can see that. I think it would be good for him. Yeah. You know, rest up a little bit, spend time with your kid, and he'll come back as hot, if not hotter, than before when he returns. But Kenny his run has only just started. This is the first pay-per-view defense, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So Kenny needs to retain.
Yeah, Kenny retains, and then like it could go either way because Moxley, he's still a hot character, but I'd rather see Kenny go, and I want Kenny to do more so like wrestling matches with feuds and stuff, and go into that and less of the silly shit. But I am interested in this exploding barbed wire thing. It sounds insane. I can't wait.
So,
Kenny retains.
I feel we're kind of on the same page going into this pay-per-view. I think there's going to be some good stuff there, but overall not quite as excited as previous AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's a good thing. Go in with lower expectations and be surprised.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm not super excited for this pay-per-view, but I will say it's the main event that has my attention. As a wrestling fan, I know we did this Deathmatch Ever show, but looking back at some of the crazy stuff, it's not happened. WWE's never done this. And I think that's something they want to be like, look, we're the first people to do that over WWE. So it's
they've said they want to do like a variety show. They want to showcase every single style of wrestling there is, and this is a style. So I think they're going to do it well. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, Moxley's going to come out to Wild Thing.
Yeah, why not?
Con, buy it. Buy the song for the night. Yeah. So that was AEW Dynamite from March 3rd. I'd say overall, I don't want to say match of the night was Shaq, but I really enjoyed Shaq taking that bump. I thought it was really exciting.
I mean, it was like wrestling is a show at the end. It was the most entertaining thing on it. So
I much preferred AEW to NXT. NXT had some things that really shined for me. I loved Roddy versus Finn. I think maybe that was my match of the night. Or the Tully thing. I for some reason really into. I'm super into Jungle Boy Jack, and I loved seeing Tully tie it up with some of them there. And that slingshot suplex looked like he hadn't missed a beat. So overall, I enjoyed AEW more than NXT.
I'm with you. I thought AEW was a really good show. Unfortunately, tapered off a bit at the end. Loved the Shaq match, and but Roddy and Finn was my match of the night, wrestling wise.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same thing there too. Yeah.
Okay. BDElite every Thursday 1 p.m. live on Twitch, twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. We open up the Zoom call lines to any patron who wishes to call in and talk about AEW, NXT, or the wrestling scene in general. So if you wish to call in, now is your chance. But we're going to go, I believe, to Jake from the Windy City. So Jake, if you'd like to unmute yourself, please.
Hey gentlemen, hope you guys are doing well. It's a beautiful day outside, 36 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny outside, so hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah, you're always calling in now. You're our Thursday regular.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's seriously an honor, guys. So, meeting you guys back in the day a couple of years ago. So I always love chatting to you guys, just talking the wacky world of wrestling. So, overall, I did enjoy Dynamite last night. I thought it was one of their better go-home shows, in my opinion, but I have to agree with you guys. The last half hour was a low point for me. That would be the one exception. I'm done with Matt Hardy, to be honest with you. It's become such how much he's been getting every week, and it's been a lot of it, and he's not as durable as he used to be. I really think that, look, he can be a reliable source still in this industry, but not in the ring, in my opinion. To me, it's time for him to hang up the boots. And look, the broken Hardy stuff was entertaining a few years ago, but it's like right now, it's like, who cares now?
Yeah, but it's, for me, I never want to say when someone should or shouldn't retire. I think Japan has a very different way where when you're getting older, you see them starting to go lower down the card, and you've still got people like Yuji Nagata who, if you put in like a US promotion, you'd probably go, time to retire. But they don't feature them too much. They put them in 6-man tags and that kind of thing, and every now and then you might get a New Japan Cup match like you got last year with Suzuki and Nagata. So I'm not saying I want to see Matt Hardy retire, but the way you're booking him, he shouldn't be in as prominent positions as he is. He shouldn't be taking a spot on a pay-per-view in a singles match, in my opinion. The odd Dynamite 6-man tag, fine, whatever, but it's too much. He's on the screen way too much. He's wrestling way too much, in my opinion. And it does make, like, Braden and I watch it together every week, and every time he's on the screen, we're just like, ugh.
I check out.
This. Okay.
And that's coming
right.
from me. Look in my room. I got the Hardy Boys book when I was younger, signed by both of them. I got like their autographs. I got their toys when I was a kid. I was such a big fan of the Hardy Boys, and I just feel like now is the time to maybe just take a step back. And I thought that's exactly what he was going to be doing, and it's totally the opposite.
It felt like it after the Sammy feud, and
Yeah.
when he became these guys'
Yeah.
managers. But then he's taking the spots again.
It makes me not want to watch the match. I don't care about this match
Yeah.
at all. It's not, and you know, people are like, oh, Matt Hardy, remember there was a time he could have been world champ in WWE. It's like, well, maybe not, because it didn't really. I wasn't a big fan of him in TNA either. So, yeah.
What other thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, I apologize. Might be a little bit of a delay here. Some crappy internet connection right now, but
It's still better than the Impact feed. It's fine.
other than that, like the show was great. Yeah, I appreciate it. But overall, it's great. And there's a Cinemark theater right by my just a couple blocks from my house, so I might be going over there to.
Oh, right.
Pay-per-view.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're airing it
it's
in
really
theaters.
exciting. They announced that AEW is partnering with Cinemark theaters, and there's one chain of that right by the mall where I live at. So looking forward to that. And the Shaq match. You look, I'm a huge basketball fan as well, and I watch as well. And look, he exceeded my low expectations. And how much he sold that, it was pretty funny, and I think after the ambulance, when he went in the ambulance, and then when they opened the doors, it's like, oh, he became one with the Force or something. So I was expecting like a better follow up, but
Yeah.
we'll just see what's gonna happen going on from there. And it's gonna be interesting if he does show up with a panel with Charles Barkley and Kenny the Jet Smith, and if he's gonna be there, or if he's gonna actually sell it. So that's gonna be an interesting one.
He's not gonna sell it. He didn't even sell this match this week. I
want to see him in the neck brace and everything.
I looked at his socials
That was
this
fun,
week, and I was like, dude, you have a match, and they paying you for it, and you're not even
You wouldn't
promoting
know.
it. You look at Pat McAfee, dude was talking about it all out of his ass the whole time for NXT, but Shaq didn't give a shit. Maybe that was part of the lead up, because he showed he gave a shit because he took a bump, but I didn't necessarily thought his lead up to it, because there was no good story, I guess, for this
There
match,
wasn't, no.
realistically. Yeah. Well, thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Jake. Take care.
Guys, looking forward to our chat next week.
Oh, yeah.
Still very excited, and I'm going to take this weekend to actually take the time to watch all the matches and actually take some like a little bit of copious notes and probably read up more on history. So hope I will join you guys next week.
Yeah, do you want to quickly tell everyone what we're doing?
Yeah, what's the show?
Yeah, sure. So I'm doing an Up Yours next. We're releasing it next Friday, right? Yeah, next Friday. It's going to be the 1994 Super J Cup, which Dave Meltzer called it the greatest single night tournament in wrestling history. Back in the day, and I was reading the Observer issue on that week, and it's like all the matches were like more than 3 stars, and it was pretty interesting how he covered it and how he got the show, and so it's gonna be a very interesting review on next Friday. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, thanks guys for having me, and rest in power to Jim Crockett Jr.
Yeah,
man.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
buddy.
much, Jake.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. Obviously, we love New Japan stuff, but we're going to be going back with Jake's pick to talk all about the Super J Cup 1994. I've watched this show back before, and it's great. It's got some famous matches on it. So if you're a member of our Patreon, go get your feedback in for this show next week. We'll put up the feedback thread Monday, but that'll be a show we're recording next week. This week, we're doing a Was Next on the Patreon, where we're talking about a old episode of NXT from 2013. We're going in history. We're at, February 20th, 2013. Big E's still our champion, and we'll be talking about that. That'll be out this week. We're about to record this after this show. And then we have our Revolution watch-along and post-show. That'll be on the Patreon there as well. But if you want to join in for free, listen to us for free, not join the Patreon, we'll just be live on Twitch after the show, so there's your way to catch us. Do that. And like Jake mentioned, we'll be doing an Up Yours with him for the New Japan Cup, but there's another Up Yours next week as well with Charbel,
The chosen one.
doing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah.
So many different things, so many different shows. I'm excited for both of those shows. 2 different Up Yours selections and totally different, and I'm all for it. So I'm super stoked. But yeah.
Just want to say, how wild is it that AEW is going to be hitting the theaters before Black Widow and No Time to Die? Crazy.
I couldn't imagine going to the theaters right still. We're in Canada and things are different than the States and stuff. We feel like we're in a different galaxy because we're so behind on things. But I couldn't imagine going to, that would be the thing I'm going to break, like to go to the theater to see Revolution.
Depends how it does. It depends how the safety things are.
Yeah.
Like, you go into a supermarket with 100 people. Like, I'd feel way safer sitting in a seat on my own with a mask on, with no one around me.
I'd rather not sit for 5 hours with a mask on.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, that's not the revolution I'm waiting
No.
for. Thank you for listening, guys. Of course, Up Next is up. Deep Impact is up. Shot in the Dark is up. All on this very free feed. All the free shows because we love you guys, including Best Deathmatch Ever. Later up tonight, early Friday morning, the best deathmatch ever with Damian Abraham. Go listen to us talk about all the fucked up shit in wrestling, including Exploding Barbed Wire, which we'll be talking about this Sunday. I can't wait for this pay-per-view, mostly just that match, and to hang out with you guys. That's more fun. That's more fun than the wrestling these days. It's just the Twitch chats and stuff. So thank you guys for listening. Of course, the socials at Up Next Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, for all the stuff, all the shows, everything. Thank you guys.
And one last plug, join us tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Stephanie Chase's YouTube channel. We'll be tweeting out the link in just a moment to watch Anita versus Terry Funk. Exploding barbed wire death match.
Can't wait. Can't wait. We're watching way too many exploding things lately. Thank you for listening. Take care. Goodbye. We'll talk to you Sunday. Be safe, and I hope Shaq is okay.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.